Hello everyone, this is Vicki here today and I am doing a new layout for Scrap Academy and it's term 2, mixed media term and week 7. And my assignment for this week is to show you how I'm using the packaging technique. So this is a really popular technique, lots and lots of people use it. So if you haven't done it before though, you'll be able to see how I'm using it. And yeah, I've got this collection from Coco Vanilla Studio and it's called Daydream. So I'm just cutting up some of the cut apart sheet to make a nice simple layout and a photo of my dog. So you'll see how a bit of mixed media can bring a layout alive by looking at what I've done here. I've just laid the cards across the page and that looks pretty quiet, pretty plain, not much going on. So, and that's where the packaging technique is going to come into its own. So I've just cut out the inside of this cut apart, the white piece, so that I can put my photo behind that frame. And I'm also going to cut here a piece of patterned paper to make an extra card to go behind. So I'm just cutting it the same size, the 3 inches by 4 inches. And I'm just going to put that behind just to add a bit of pop there. So you can see that's still fairly simple and plain, and the mixed media I'm going to do will help with this. I need to apologise for my camera because I hadn't realised it was slipping, and as we go through the video it slips more and you miss the bottom of the layout, but I don't think you miss anything crucial, so I just wanted to let you know. So I'm using these powdered paints from Lindy's Stamp Gang, which are called Magicals, and I'm using their watercolours. So they come in powder form and you just mix them with water and then you can use them like watercolours. So I mix them onto, this is just a piece of packaging from I don't know, some embellishments or something similar, and I've just kept it and I mix the paint onto it and then I put it onto my page. So the paper I've got is thick white cardstock. So I don't need any gesso on that because I'm not using a massive amount of water. So if you were using lots more water, you would need possibly some gesso, but it should be fine on regular cardstock as long as you don't use too much. So you see there where I'm putting the packaging down, I'm turning it around and smushing it with my finger a little bit and just moving it around as I put it down. It's not going to be perfect. When you use this technique, especially straight onto the cardstock with no gesso, it's going to stay where you put it and it's not going to be perfect. It's going to look a little bit messy. You get the little bits left on the packaging which you can spread around. If you're looking for perfection, this is not the technique for you. Now this does look somewhat messy right now, but it will look completely different when I have the embellishments on top. So here comes my fourth colour. I picked these colours out because they matched well with the colours in the kits. And yeah, so you could do this with just regular watercolours, mix it up on your packaging. You could do it with inks. If you just stamp the pad down onto your packaging and add some water. You could even really do it with some acrylic paint if you really watered it down. But I recommend watercolour or ink works better. So now you see I've put those cut apart cards back on the page and it's lifted it. So it's lifted them off the page and made them pop much more. And I think it just really adds something to the layout. And as you can see, you can't see a lot of what I did. So the fact that it looked messy didn't really matter ultimately. So I'm popping that photograph behind. It's not quite big enough, but I don't care. It's the photograph I wanted to use. And there is a bit of gap between the bottom of the photo and where the flowers start, but I'm going to cover that up in a second. So I decided to put some foam on the back of that frame in the end. So before the glue dried, I just unstuck it and added the foam. Okay, just be sure when you're placing your bits back on, obviously, to leave some of the paint showing at the top and the bottom so that you've got your nice effect. If I covered it and there was just paint at the top, it might look a little bit strange. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this, but I don't end up using that in the end. I just thought it might work at the bottom, but it doesn't really, so okay. For anyone who's interested, the glue that I use is Scotch Tacky glue, and I have it in a fine applicator bottle, which you can get on Amazon quite easily, and I find that that works really well, especially for detail sticking. So I just cut that little flower cluster out of one of the 6x8 papers that come with that collection, and I love to do a bit of fussy cutting, and that looks quite nice down there. And I'm going to use some stickers. And when I want to raise a sticker off the page, I just put it onto some white paper or cardstock and cut round it so that it then becomes like a die cut, and it doesn't stick to the page straight away. So there we go. And what else am I doing? So I've chosen a heart from each colour that I put on the background, and I'm just sticking those on. You can't see them very well until looking at the layout properly. That little tag says "Love this." I'm just putting that above the photo. So now I'm pulling out the die cut ephemera. So I'm just choosing some flowers from there just to carry on with the embellishment, and that rainbow at the top I really like, coming out from the sunshine. So that little felt heart works quite well there to cover up the gap underneath the photo, and I like how that looks. So there we go, just tucking some flowers in. You'll notice I cut one of those in half before I put it under, just because I wasn't going to see the whole flower and it makes it go further. I can use it in 2 places rather than one. Little tip to make your stash go further. Just sticking things down. And looking for a title. We're still slipping with the camera, so you can't see the bottom of that, but you're not really missing anything on the layout, so that's helpful. Okay, so this title says Sweet, and it's just one of the die cut titles that comes with the collection. And I'm just putting some foam on the bottom of it because the top's going to touch my photo, which is already raised on foam, but I just wanted to raise the bottom as well. So I'm going to cut this little floral in half as well, and you stick that underneath there and there. Again, you can't tell that's just half a flower, so it works pretty well. I have this little flare badge there, which I'm going to put at the top, that says "Oh My Stars," and looks really cute there. And then I've just got a little word sticker here that says "Happy," so I'm just going to put that underneath the word "Sweet." And that is the final layout. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you an insight into the packaging technique and that you can try that for yourself. There are close-ups there as well for you to look at. Please do let me know if you have any questions, and I will be only too happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicki for Scrap Academy. Until next time, bye-bye.